All right, Johnny, this is Jake Epstein. I'm going to be reviewing your video. You got to have your BP pitcher work you not every pitch right below the knees. He's tough. Anyway, let's go ahead and go through here. Probably my favorite part of your swing is going to be the aggressiveness and the way that your lower body works. Okay, your footwork, your knee action, and your hip rotation. So if we go, we're going to kind of break this entire swing down. So there's two parts of the swing. There's a lot more than two parts of the swing, but there's two parts of the swing. One controls consistency and the other controls power. Okay, so the upper body controls consistency, how long we're on plane for, what kind of spin rates and launch angles we create, do we use the whole field correctly, are we going to hit for a high average. The lower body creates the power throughout the swing to see if our line drives go into the gap or our high line drives go over the fence. Okay, so the lower body, if you have really good lower body, but your upper body isn't as good, then once in a while you'll absolutely destroy balls, rather than you destroying balls, and hitting for a high average. So obviously you got to have both. The upper body, to me, at a younger age is more important because it creates consistency, high batting average, a lot of line drives, and confidence in the swing. So your lower body looks great. The upper body is really what I want to stress with you. So I'm going to go to some different parts of the swing. This is Corey Seager on the right. So the first part of the swing, I know you watched the Silent Technique video, is toe touch. So at the toe touch position, right about here, things that we have to make sure of is that our front shoulder is lower than our back shoulder. So if I put a slope on his shoulders here, he's down at 14 degrees. You're actually doing pretty good with this position as well. Most big leaguers, their back elbow's up a little bit higher than yours. So it's either like a guy like Donaldson and Bautista and Miguel Cabrera, their back elbow is going to be kind of in line with their shoulders. You're at kind of the bottom of where that elbow needs to be. So typically somewhere between these two places is perfect. If you look at Seager, that would be straight out the shoulder, and then this would be the kind of that low line, and you can see he's right in between them. All right, so we got to be careful with that, but your front shoulder is in. Make sure this back foot's not facing towards the catcher. Okay, keep an eye on that every time you set up. Try to keep this guy square as much as possible. That's going to keep your knee in the right spot. Okay, if we look at Seager's knee, see how it's inside? Not only is it pointing straight over towards the camera, it's well inside his back foot. If I draw a vertical line with yours, yes, it's inside, but that knee's kind of facing, more back here where the foot's facing. So that will inhibit a little bit of rotation. All right, so the next position the next thing we want to look at in this position is that our base is wide enough. So typically, I'm a big fan of wide bases. This is after you're done striding, okay? You don't have to start wide, but you have to get athletic. So if we look at this triangle with Seager, you can see how his base is wider than the sides. Typically, whatever your inseam is, add 2 inches. So if your jeans are 32 inches in length, you should be 34 inches down here. If they're 30 inches in length, it should be 32. I think you're fine where you are here. You could definitely be 2 to 4 inches wider than this, but you can't be any less than this. But this is a good base. I'd be okay with this. So next position here is something called your short approach. The short approach is when you start to rotate your upper body. You can see how violently your front shoulder lifts in this position. Okay, it's going to lift, but you're kind of using your shoulders to move your hands instead of letting your hands move your hands. So this is about the same part of the swing. Okay, short approach, and we'll look at this a lot with all of your video submissions, is when the chest starts to open and face towards your front foot. Okay, what I look for here is where are your hands and where are your elbows. Key number one is something called bat drag. Okay, so we take bat drag measurements by tracing the forearm and tracing the forearm. He's at 125 degrees. Most pros are 110 to 130 degrees. You could be as low as 90 and still be okay, but like I said, most pros are 110 to 130. If I do yours, one forearm and then your other forearm, you can see how small this angle is. You're at 72 degrees. What does that mean? That means that your back elbow is dropping prematurely and your front arm is straightening, and the combination of those two drops the bat behind your body. Okay, so if you look at Seager in this position, notice how an easy move, if you guys look at video yourself, there's some free apps out there. We have one. In fact, you can connect your online account to your phone with the I hitting app. So it's just the letter I and then hitting. With that app is something called Video Edge. So essentially, you could stop your body in this position, and you could say, or stop the video in this position, is the knob in front of the elbow or behind the elbow? The knob always has to be in front of the elbow here. This is going to be all of our drills, or at least the drills that I give you the first couple weeks or first month, totally going to emphasize that move. What happens is, see how his bat slots here and yours is way behind your body? Okay. The more you get your hands in front of your body here, see how his hands are in front of his armpit? Yours are behind your shoulder. The shorter your swing is. The shorter your swing is, the less the barrel is going to drop initially. All right. So as you continue to go through here, you can see your barrel has to drop because the pitch is, way down there at the knees. But what happens is that front arm gets a little bit straight. So this is a cool pitch. He's hitting a low pitch as well. Not quite as low as yours. Okay, but notice how he used his legs to get down to it, and he didn't just drop the barrel. His hands actually went kind of like, let's see if I can just trace this back. They probably went on a line like that. A little bit lower than that. Okay. So they kind of went like this to get to that low pitch. Okay, yours kind of go down here and then come through. And then they come back up. And when they come back up, you'll tend to kind of flip your wrists over. Okay. The last thing I want to look at for your upper body is this called your power V position. And we'll look at your other swings too. But your power V, you can see how high your barrel is here. That leads to a lot of ground balls to the second baseman and the first baseman. And the fact that this arm didn't get straight. Okay. So if we look at Seager in that power V position, you can see where his left arm is facing, and it's straight compared to yours. Okay. Also notice the weight in his front heel versus yours are like in your toes. I thought it was actually better than that on these. So anyway, let's go through here your other swings. Sometimes we just don't take perfect swings all the time. So this one here, yeah, I guess you still get a little bit on rolling to the outside of your front foot. Rolling to the outside is okay, but we want to push up through this heel before you roll. We'll deal with that later. Again, the stride looks good, the front shoulder looks good, the back knee looks good, the back foot looks good. You can see those hands just kind of go down a lot. And then our lack of extension, we just don't get this left arm extended without flipping your left wrist over. So I'm thinking your misses, again, all these pitches were really low, but those moves that you're showing me where your hands are here behind your body instead of in front of your armpit, those lead to kind of slicing fly balls to left and toppers, ground balls to the right side of the infield. And I think that's kind of what's going on here with your swing. This is awesome because you're so athletic with your lower half. I'll tell you what, we get the hands working a little bit more efficiently. Yeah, you're almost like this would be considered like long to the ball here a little bit. I'm not gonna say long, longer. There's no casting or anything, but longer in that your arm is kind of straight here early in the swing, and then when you finish, it's almost like you're short. You're cutting your follow through off, so meaning that arm's not straightening. So this is the same part of the swing, you and Seager. Yeah, probably right. Maybe there. That's your power V position, and you can see the difference of your arms. Okay, there's no extension in your left arm, and that barrel's starting to get above your hands. Okay, so I'm going to give you an upper body heavy lesson plan here for the next couple weeks. Okay, and I want you to do the drills, and in a week or two when you send me a video, I want you to send me a video doing the drills. I have to make sure you're doing the drills correctly. So even if it's just one of the drills, like the back foot drag drill, that's going to incorporate a little bit of legs, but it's a contact drill with your hands that's going to make you extend without rolling your wrists. What I want to make sure of is that when your first move, when you start to rotate, that the bat doesn't get behind your shoulder too much. It slots anywhere from the neck, which is where I'm going to have you hold the bat in the videos, to kind of where he is. The bat has to fit between those two spots. That's what I'm concerned with. So definitely send me a video doing those drills so I can comment on it and change something if it needs to be changed.